Hey everyone, Christina here. The last time you saw me, we were going through this hive and we added a super for Brazilian pepper. So let's open it up and see what we're doing today. I'm going to say that they did not touch the super. So that should answer your question, Sandra. We were a little bit too late and they didn't actually draw anything out, which should not be surprising. That being said, let's see what we have on the inside. Okay. Well, it's a pretty good indication of why they did not go up to the super. A lot of resources here. I love how yellow the wax is. So part of our hive management here in fall, as we discussed last time, is just making sure they have enough resources to last through the winter. A very mild Florida winter it is, but still need access to food. So on average, you want to leave about 40 to 60 pounds of honey in the hive for them to make it through. But it's looking like we need to make some adjustments and kind of even out these resources. Time to talk turkey. Looks like these ladies are filling up their pantry. It's a little too full based on we are already 3 frames in full of nectar. So not to worry if your bees did not fill out your supers. There's a good chance that they went ahead and just backfilled those deeps, which in our case they are. So we will pull a couple of these frames, go ahead and harvest some of that honey and make a little more brood area for them. Yeah, we're 4 frames in of resources at this point and no brood. So now's the time to really make sure that all of your resources are evened out. Again, I did say that we are already at 5 frames of resources and we haven't even hit brood yet. That's telling me that maybe our queen needs a little extra space in here. Well, they're barely drawn out that side. So this entire box is just food. And since our whole box is filled with honey in the top, we're gonna go ahead and inspect the bottom and see if we can't find our queen and make sure she has enough space down there. Yes, we'll set it on this one if you'll go in the front.
Okay.
All right, now that we got our top box off, I gotta tell you that was pretty heavy. Had to have a helper come in. Let's see if we cannot find our queen today. I'm gonna cheat. We do have a little feeder in here that we're gonna get out. Give us a little bit more space to work with. All right, that gives us a little more working room here. Ooh, now we're gonna see some interesting comb pattern. So that's what we're rocking, the bottom box, first frame. So far, just resources. We do have the one side that's not pulled out at all. That's some drone brood and some queen cells on this side. Plenty of resources on this side. Quite a few drones. There we go. I was getting a little concerned with this one. We have some capped brood. And we have some 3-day eggs on here. A little bit of resources, so that's promising. So we are 14 frames in, though, of resources. Alright, there's a good amount of eggs on this frame. I'm feeling a bit better. If you see something, do something. I do see a queen cell on here I am just going to knock off. We are going to be pulling out of this box. They will have more space. Shout out to Sandra. You had a great question asking what would happen if we didn't have enough time to go ahead and fill that super. Well, in this case, they just backfilled all of our deeps. So we're going to go ahead and pull out this box of deeps and harvest some of those resources off of it and go ahead and put it back in empty to give them more space, because we made it to right about here in the second box before we saw any brood. So that shows me she doesn't have any more space. So that's how we're going to handle that. They definitely don't need to be fed. They could use a mite wash just to kind of make sure everything's on hand, make sure we don't need to do any treatments before the fall happens. And right now I'm going to close it back up since I'm going to harvest. So thanks for joining us, and have a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate.